So I want to, before we get started and I pass it off to Pooja, I want to also give a second thank you to our sponsor Walgreens, who and our sponsors make all of these amazing events possible, and they make them free and accessible to our whole community. So I'm going to invite Pooja, hello, back on screen to take it away.
Hi, everyone. My name is Pooja Sharma, and I've been with Walgreens for about a year. Last August is when I started. And I work here as a senior diversity sourcer, which is a great role for me. And I'm really passionate about diversity. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Walgreens. So I'm going to start with our purpose, vision, and values. So our purpose is why we exist, which is to have more joyful lives through better health. Our vision, which is our tangible company-wide aspiration for the near term, is to be the leading partner in reimagining local healthcare and well-being for all. And then our values, which are our shared beliefs and principles that guide us, that guide our decisions and how we operate, include being courageous, connected, committed, and curious. Next slide, please. So the next slide talks a little bit about the timeline and our history of innovation. This is just a brief representation of Walgreens innovations, and we continue to add to the list today. For instance, we created a community corner in our stores, which highlights products from local and diverse companies. Another highlight I would like to point out is in 1922, Walgreens invented the malted milkshake. So the next time you have a milkshake, remember that Walgreens was the one who invented that. And then another key highlight I wanted to point out was in 2010, the award-winning Walgreens app launched, conveniently linking customers with prescription refills, photo printing, weekly ads, and more. And then one other highlight I wanted to point out was the Find Care Now, which launched on the Walgreens.com and the app. And that is something that I believe Shipra will be talking a little bit more to later today. Next slide, please. Walgreens is also a global force for good. Next slide, please. One of our big campaigns is Red Nose Day. And if you're local, to the US and you've been into a Walgreens around the time that we have the Red Nose Day, you can see that right by the cash register, there's like these little red noses that you can buy to help donate. So basically what Red Nose Day is, it is dedicated to championing everyone's right to be healthy and happy. And Walgreens has become the official retailer of red noses in support of the first Red Nose Day since 2015. This was organized by Comic Relief in UK in 1988, and Red Nose Day raises funds for nonprofit organizations that help lift children and young people out of poverty. Since its launch in April 2015, Walgreens has raised over $240 million by selling red noses, vendor partner products, and generating in-store cash donations in support of the nationwide fundraising campaign, which is huge. And so that's something that we're really proud of. And the next time you walk into a Walgreens and see a little red nose, now you know what it's all about. Thank you. I'd like to pass it on to Shipra.
Thanks, Pooja. Hi, everybody. I'm Shipra Aggarwal. I live in Seattle, Washington, one of the most beautiful places in USA. I completed my computer engineering in 1997 and master's in computer science in 2003. I have 20 plus years of experience in IT industry. I have been working with Walgreens for around 11 years. In all these years, I have played multiple roles, PM, QA manager, DAM manager, working in different domains, order management system, merchandising, catalog, demand draft, forecasting, warehouse, and now Find Care. Find Care is the one which Pooja just talked about. We had launched around 4 years before. So currently, I'm managing the developers for 4 Scrum teams under Find Care division. Our Walgreens office is located in a beautiful location in Bellevue downtown, and I can see Mount Rainier from my desk, as you see in this picture. It's soothing to see this mesmerizing view every day at work. In Walgreens, the best part I like is work culture. We work like a startup company using all the latest technologies, learn from each other at work itself, keeping work-life balance, and care for each other as a family. Next slide, please. Today's agenda is cloud computing and its various aspects. Next slide, please. What is cloud? Cloud is a new gold rush everyone is running behind. Where did this cloud idea come from? If you remember, in early stage of internet, all the technical diagrams used to represent in the form of servers and networking, which made up the internet as a cloud. People began to talk about moving to cloud as a shorthand way of expressing the computing processes. And now, as you know, this is widely accepted term all across. Let me explain cloud in very simple terms with the example of real estate investment platform. Earlier, people used to buy the property for offices or lease for 5 years, 10 years, set up furniture and other stuff. But now these real estate companies buy the property, keep all the setup ready for you, which they are expert in. You just rent for whatever time you need. If you think this is the perfect situation for COVID, and especially with the hybrid model companies are going towards, you can rent once per week, once per month, based on your meetings or your company's agendas. You don't need to pay the rent utilities for the whole year. You just take a slice of it and pay accordingly. It's exactly the same concept for cloud. Cloud service providers keep the infrastructure and all the related services ready for you, which they are expert in. You just take the subscription for the time you need their services for and pay accordingly. Example, today you need 10 servers as per your current business growth. After 3 months, your business expands. You can easily scale the infrastructure just in few minutes. Next slide, please. iCloud. As per a research done in 2020, 84% of the companies had moved to cloud. Let's think about few applications which we use day-to-day basis, which are running on cloud. Google search, Outlook, Gmails, Netflix, Zoom, Slack, Skype, you just name it. So the first advantage, initial investment. It's very minimal initial investment. Perfect use case is startup. You want to start a business, you don't have enough resources. You use cloud, you pay as you go. Another use case, maybe your business is running on variable workload. Example might be some seasonal companies where 3 months in a year, your business is having a lot of workload compared to rest of the year. So you can easily scale your infrastructure up and down based on your business growth. Security and compliance. Not everybody is expert in security. You can take advantage of cloud service provider expertise and make yourself compliant. You don't need to keep on watching the new security protocols. Disaster recovery. For on-premises, you need to set up another physical server and keep maintained. But again, you can take the expertise from cloud service providers. They will take care of network, infrastructure, keep your data available in case of any disaster and back you up just in few minutes. Next is faster time to market. The best recent example from Walgreens, I want to give HealthBot. HealthBot is the feature which we released just in a few weeks, exactly 1 week. HealthBot is like a chatbot you guys might have seen once you start typing the questions and someone virtually assists you answering those questions. So HealthBot is like a AI-powered, compliant, conversational healthcare experience where this bot asks the user health-related questions and it will guide you which health services you can avail based on your health answers. That's what my Find Care program is. Next is ease of worldwide expansion. Just assume your business is in US today and you want to expand it in UK as well. If you're on premises, you will have to create the infrastructure in UK and maintain all those servers all the years. But with cloud, you can just subscribe to the infrastructure in UK from these cloud service providers and they will maintain it for you. You will not have any latency or performance issues. Having said all the advantages of cloud, it will be your company decision if you want to move to cloud or not. There are still few companies who have not moved to cloud and using their own infrastructure. One of the biggest example is Facebook. Let's take a closer look at cloud. What all computing models these service providers are providing? At high level, there are two: deployment model and service model. Deployment model has three different options: public, private, and hybrid cloud. Public cloud is like you are going in a bus to work. Private cloud, you are going in your own car to work. Hybrid is combo of those. Service model, there are different type of models: IaaS, infrastructure as a service; platform as a service; software as a service. I'll go a little bit more details. The next slide. As you see in this picture, which is from Microsoft Azure itself, very simple picture to understand. In IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service, you see that Microsoft Azure is providing you storage, networking, firewall, security, data centers, but you have to maintain the operating system and applications. But in PaaS, you will maintain the operating system and database management as well. You just need to maintain the application. In SaaS, you don't need to manage anything. They will take care of everything. You just use the application. The best example is Outlook. Next slide, I have just given a little bit more details about the services. I will not go over it. You can easily find these over the internet. Next slide. Migration at Walgreens from on-prem to cloud. We followed the basic steps. First, we planned which model we want to go through. So we are using PaaS, which is platform as a service. We designed it, architected, we built it, migrated in the down-level environments, validated, and then ready to launch to production. We did the phased approach. I own 60 plus microservices under FindCare program. We successfully migrated all these microservices in 1 to 2 years. A lot of learning for me and the whole team, because your infrastructure technology is completely changed, your SLA changed, your SOP changed. You follow the standards like adding unit test, sonar, BDD, load test, packed. You separate out your internal and external APIs. Good thing is your application is no more monolithic. It's divided into smaller chunks in form of microservices. The another part of this I like is the dashboards, Dynatrace. You can easily see the status of microservices health in production on daily basis. Kibana for logging is really helpful in case of any production issues you want to troubleshoot the issue. CI/CD pipeline setup. It's literally hands off. You can see the whole status, which step your deployment is failed, and analyze the issue. Data security is the key for Walgreens because we are in pharmacy business. So all of our data in cloud is encrypted and secured. Earlier, we were paying huge dollar amount for our old systems and Oracle licenses every year. Also, they were running on a very high capacity servers in the data centers. Since there was no option of scalability, we had over provisioned the servers compared to expected traffic because we didn't want to take a risk to let our business down. But now with Azure, Kubernetes services and microservice architecture, our applications can scale very quickly to support high volume of traffic. I want to spend a little bit more time on learnings that will be helpful for you. Overcost, if not used optimally. Everybody, high-level perspectives say cloud is cheaper, but there's a note that if you're not using it optimally, you might end up paying more. So you should be very clear that which service model you want to use for your applications, which configurations you want, what is your current business, what future expansion you are looking for, and use all these configurations and settings accordingly and keep on watching the cost. One-way versus two-way door. It's very important to have your on-premises as a backup when you are planning to do the initial launch for cloud. Even though if you're very optimistic, we never know that there can be some unknown issues due to configurations not configured properly or any missing integrations, firewalls, or anything else. So in that case, you can easily move your traffic back to on-premises so your business is not down. So that will be two-way door, at least for your initial launch. Pre-planning. Pre-planning is very important because you need to consider a lot of initial overhead, which practically happens. In our case, when we were migrating our microservices to cloud Kubernetes, but rest of the services were still on-prem. So we were handling two different systems in parallel because production was still on premises where we were launching all the new features to production on weekly basis and in parallel working on the cloud branch. So every week when you release those features in production, you need to merge your code back to your cloud branch and maintain those. Business involvement in early stages. It's critical to include all the external and internal stakeholders and all the related third parties. People think that cloud migration is IT only project. That's not true. So all the business stakeholders should be involved in the initial phase itself. Next slide, please. Certifications and resources. It was very helpful for me when my company was moving to cloud. I was not able to understand all these new cloud specific terms, pod, Kibana, scalability, elasticity, Azure resources, resource subscriptions. Then I thought of doing this certification, which helped me to understand all these fundamentals, and I was able to connect in those meetings. I have just given an example of very basic certifications here, but there is a link at the end. We'll be able to find all the certifications. And again, I have just given the link for Azure because Walgreens is using Azure, but if you are planning for AWS, Oracle, you should be able to Google and find those. The another benefit of certifications I felt is once you enroll yourself for a certification, it's like a time bound, like you know that you need to finish all these courses and prepare for the exam. So all these key terms and understanding resonates in your mind. Usually the certification is $70 to $100, but in public libraries, it is sponsored as free as well. So it's a good idea for you to check in your area if libraries are sponsoring that. Next slide. Takeaways. So regular benefits of cloud: cost, scalability, security, pipelines, dashboards, and much more. You should be careful about deciding on the model, which should be part of your pre-planning of architecture, which is the most critical part. So you don't end up paying more. It's important for you to watch your cost. Next is business involvement in early stages. And at the last, certifications, which helps you gain knowledge and enhances your resume as well. So that's it from my side. At Walgreens.com, we are using artificial intelligence models which are running on cloud. So I'll hand over to Sheida. She will talk more about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Shipra. It's my pleasure to be here today with you. And I'm Sheida Gohari, Director of Data Science in Walgreens. Before before I joined to Walgreens, I work on different projects, patents, and cool projects. And after about 1.5 years ago, I joined to Walgreens as principal machine learning scientist. And because I was able to be seen and recognized by leadership, I promoted to be director of data science in AI technology department. And that was a great opportunity for me, great opportunity for me to be able to flourish and see that how I can use my skills and be recognized in Walgreens. And in Walgreens, I'm focusing on developing AI models to giving better service to our customers. And in every single model development, our team work with across Walgreens team, different people, very smart colleagues, and brainstorming with them to understand that we are delivering, we are concerning, for example, business aspect of the work or safety of the patients, and gain knowledge from, for example, our pharmacies, different team, and all the work that here my team are doing. So it's like collaboration between different teams that I really enjoy about that. A little bit talk about my background. I have a PhD, master, bachelor in industrial and system engineering, which is very straight, right? So during my education, I had a couple of deep learning, machine learning, AI-related courses that encouraged me to choose AI as my career. And in addition to that, in my bachelor, I always loved coding and formulate the real world problems. So, and I saw that, I realized that this is my passion. And that helped me a lot to be in this journey. And I'm also wife, so I have my personal life. So because of I'm able to make balance between my work and my personal life, I'm able to do some of the things that I really like to do, like enjoying the weather, beautiful weather in summer in Chicago, because I'm located in Chicago and I'm working in Chicago downtown office in Old Post Office. It's very beautiful office, and one of the things that encouraged me always go to the office, it's because of having this beautiful office. And let me talk a bit about some of the example of how AI can help facilitate the process to give better services to our customers with considering the quality of the work of the services. So would you please go to the next slide? Let me first ask you, how many of you guys ask your doctor to send your prescription to Walgreens pharmacy? I think at least for those that are living in US, at least one time you had the same, you went to Walgreens pharmacy. Sometimes maybe you realize that your waiting time is more than you expected, which is not good. But this happened maybe because this Walgreens branch is in very busy location, or it's because it's in busiest time. So anyway, a longer waiting time, it's not good. And here is a thing that we got together with pharmacists, physicians, business analysts, AI scientists, data engineers. We got together to think that how we can automate some part of this work. Because you know that when you go there are so many activities with the pharmacists and the technicians in the pharmacy on the back to prepare your prescription. Like they need to first, look at your prescription, realize the drug, all the allergies, extract information, important information from your doctor notes, and measure the temperature of your drug. So many activities and efforts they are doing to make it happen, prepare your prescription, fill it for you. But how we can help them, pharmacy staffs and our patients, with considering the safety of the patients. We got together to build a smart natural language programming models, machine learning models, to be able to extract important information from doctor's notes, prescriptions, realize your drug from your prescription, and find it if you have it in the store or not, in this store or not, find the similar related drug for you. And the other important thing, realize that the allergy that you guys reported, the patients reported, how we can extract this information also from your prescription. So developing these type of models, AI model, help us to automate some part of these activities. In the other side, we consider the safety of the patients. That's why our model always should be very smart. And of course, we have last validation part, but at least it can help automation in the pharmacy and reduce the waiting time for our patient, which is really cool for a patient. They don't need to wait even in busiest time. Hopefully next time, if anybody faced with longer waiting time, they don't have the same experience this time. And the other example in the pharmacy, I can talk about the labels stitched into your drug medicines. So you see that there is instruction in shorter way, which we call it translation of your prescription, and we pharmacists stick it to your drug medicine. So these also come from AI models. Now we developed AI models again with collaboration with the pharmacists, physicians, technicians, to be able to extract the knowledge to build a smart AI model to translate the doctor prescription and summarize it, make a label for you guys, for the patients in different language. And I feel that as a Walgreens employee, I feel working on this type of project, it impacts my life as well. It's very cool for me. And every day I face with this type of very cool project. It excited me to participate on developing more and more AI models in Walgreens. And another example that I can talk about that, next slide, please. I can talk about that. I think Pooja talked about weekly ad. Talk about discount and promotions. So some of you guys may purchase some of the items from Walgreens, experiencing using Walgreens web app, Walgreens app, or you directly went to Walgreens stores. And you saw some promotions, discounts in Walgreens stores, or in the website, like weekly ad. These promotions can be generated randomly or could be generated the same for all our customers, or it can be customized for our customers based on also their location. For example, imagine that during the summer, if you are in Chicago, very cold weather, of course, your needs is different than being in Hawaii. So then it's not only about you, it's about your location as well. And how we could make these offers, promotion, useful for our customers. That's why we brought AI concepts in generating our promotions and offer across the Walgreens, using marketing science team, customer science team, and developer teams. Different knowledge were injected to these models to make them accurate as much as possible and have as much as possible better promotions for our customers that they enjoy shopping in Walgreens. And I can make more and more examples for you today, but I think these two examples already are very cool. You know that how the impact of the AI can be seen in Walgreens. And one of the good things that I personally, I feel very good about that, developing these models, imagine that these discount models or pharmacy you go to Walgreens and you see outcome of these models, this really satisfies me. And we can see impact of even these models impact my life as well. If I actually can generate develop better model with better outputs, I can use of them as well. It impacting my life as well, and my friends, all our customers. And we can directly even get, we can see some of the feedbacks from these models to make them smarter and smarter as much as possible. With retraining these models, re-architecturing these models. So that's really good. You develop something in the future, you see how these things, they work, and you can see it with your eyes sometimes, which is very cool to me. Yeah. And in data science also, in data science team also, I think Pooja gonna talk about that. We have always positions, new positions, because number of our projects are growing and growing. So we always need data scientists and people who can code in Walgreens.
Thank you so much, Sheida. I'm going to stop sharing. Pooja will come back at the end to talk a little bit about working at Walgreens, but I'll ask Shipra to turn your camera back on so that we can do a little bit of a Q&A, because there's a lot of, and Sheida, you can leave your camera on. It's for both of you. Okay. Because we have some great questions for both of us. For both of you, we'll take a little bit of time. But my first question is for both of you. It's really inspired by something Sheida just said before we get into the details, because a lot of people have questions, like very detailed questions. But to start, Sheida, you said you really like seeing how the models you work on, you can really see the result of what you work on in your everyday. So I would love to know from Shipra as well. My question for you both is, when you are looking for a new job and you're trying to think about whether the job is good for you, how much does it matter to both of you that there is like real outcomes that you can measure and you can see how it affects people's lives?
Yeah, sure. So honestly, it affects a lot. That was one of the things that, and one of the, questions that people always ask me, why Walgreens? And one of the things first it came to my mind was because I want to have some participation in making people's life better. So focus on healthcare, health for our patients, and make their life much easier. So I feel useful in this world with working on such an amazing projects here. So for me, it's really important, and it really satisfies me.
What about you?
Yeah, same thing. And it really satisfies you, especially like in COVID example, like we, as part of Walgreens, like COVID testing and COVID immunization, you might have heard, like is the biggest program at Walgreens. And it satisfies you when you see how many people are coming to you to get those tests done. Like negative result, of course, is the best to see. But like it's definitely a mental and heartful satisfaction that you are doing some help to the people in this situation.
Great, thank you. So the next area I'd like to talk about is about certification and self-learning. So we'll start with Shipra because you introduced the cloud certifications, but I'd also would like to hear from Sheida a little bit. So I have a second question for you, but a bunch of people asked this question. I think Maggie, Karen, Manisha, a lot of people in the audience would be, how do you choose which certification to study for? Is the biggest question people had. How do you choose which cloud certification?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Yeah.
So it depends that which level you want to go in the organization. As an example, for management perspective, maybe you just want to understand the basic fundamentals. So you take the beginner level. But if you want to be part of DevOps, so you need to go to the higher level, which is kind of expert level. Similarly, which company you want to work for, or like which service you want to learn more about, like it's Azure, AWS and all. So different service providers have different type of certifications. You just like choose accordingly.
Perfect, thank you. So a similar question for Sheida. You mentioned that you have all these degrees in industrial engineering, but you made a transition, and of course you took some courses there, but what kind of self-learning for data science did you have to do, and do you have any resources? A few people asked about, outside of traditional education, things that you have to do on your own.
Actually, let me clear that first. Industrial engineering, industrial system engineering, especially bachelor, master, PhD, all we work a lot with computer and we work on optimization problem a lot. It wasn't transition for me. Those courses that I had, it was in my university. And of course, these days we have online courses. So you can take online courses to boost your skills. Because, you know, even for me, now you cannot rely on your courses in a couple of years ago, because this area always is growing. New technology comes, new model architecture comes. That's why every time you need to learn and learn. You need to be up to date. So that's why, I mean, online courses in AI, data science, it's very helpful even for people, they have degree in the related fields, or before they had they passed some courses before. I mean, you need to renew those courses always. You need to educate yourself every day to be able to deliver new innovation. And again, as Shipra mentioned, so it's depend on the level of Oops, I don't know. Okay, it was paused. Okay,
now you're back.
Okay, good. So again, it's dependent on the level that you want to work on AI, and data science area. If you want to just start, choose your career. So of course you need to take some courses, fundamental courses, some elementary courses, and see that if you really like this is something that it's your passion or not, and then you can take advanced courses. And of course, going to, I mean, some companies like Walgreens, it's not only about AI models. So because we have many customers, it's not only about the AI. You need to educate yourself about data, some information about data pipelines, data engineering parts that be able to prepare your data for training your models. I mean, these are the things that it depends on the company, your needs gonna be different, but I feel that some fundamental and elementary courses, it's very important for people, they want to choose AI as their careers. And if they want to grow, they have to take online courses, advanced courses. And also the other thing I really enjoy about that, it's like online journal publications. So in AI, some of the innovation, even some of the AI models that we use it here, we learn it from some journal publications that scientists and PhD students with their professor or in different places around the world, they work on that, and we can somehow learn from that as well.
Thank you so much. Yeah, even when the connection goes, I know it's going to come back. So we'll just wait and you'll come back to us. So another question I had for Shipra, it's from Maggie, shared this with us. If you could, you talked a little bit about this, and it does seem to be a very high level decision that Walgreens made to switch from on-premises to cloud, but can you just go over again or give a little bit more information? What would you say is the main consideration that causes people to make that decision? Or
Yeah. So for Walgreens, the biggest reason for us was, first of all, the performance issues. You don't know that how much your business will scale, or like cost perspective, because we had provisioned more high capacity servers compared to our business. So if you have seen, like in last few years, our business has grown like anything. So in that perspective, like how much infrastructure you will buy or like you will provision, because you will always over provision because you don't want your business or website to go down. So in that case, cloud was a perfect situation for us. And for us also, like it's kind of seasonal as well, like on Christmas or on specific days for Walgreens for like promotions and all, we get more business, we get more traffic, so we need to have like infrastructure scaled up. So it's very easy with cloud because you can easily scale up and down. But if it is on premises, like it's kind of a constant which is at the higher level, so definitely like cost is more compared to cloud. So this was one of the biggest example. And we have the integration with WBA, Walgreens Boot Alliance, which is in UK as well. So that also helped because we are like businesses in different areas. So in that case, it's very easy not to have those latency and performance issues, because on premises, there's more maintenance because those servers are your own at the different physical locations. But overall, the decision will be as the whole company, like that should be all the stakeholders. It's not only IT stakeholders.
perfect. Thank you so much. One thing Shipra talked about was a benefit to cloud was how fast you can do things. So there was a question similar for Sheida to talk a little bit about the AI development process. Maybe this is a large question, but is it similar at Walgreens, like a very fast paced, for example, from the start to deployment, like getting the idea to building the model and deployment is that very fast in your experience, or what is that timeline like?
First of all, it depends on the model that we want to deliver. So if some of the models, they are very sensitive models when safety of the patient comes, so we need to be more, careful. So we need to we need to do some of the, for example, in this process, in any type of steps like development, gathering the data, development, gaining the knowledge, and validation part, we have to spend a lot of time to do those stuff. Some of them, it's depend on the needs, depend on how this project, this model is big. So I can tell you that we can develop here some of the models during less than a month. We can develop some models in 1 year, for example. So it takes 1 year to develop them and do all the validation steps, because we just don't want to deliver something that or patient safety be under question for those type of longer projects.
Thank you. So I have 2 more questions, one for both of you, and they are both about future roles, like what you predict future roles. So the first one is for Shipra, and somebody wants to know, if they're very interested in whatever that looks like, roles with digital transformation in the title, in the description, do you think that when you hear digital transformation, do you think, oh, these will be connected to cloud computing in the future?
Yes, that's what I see, because in 2000, just a year before, there was a research done, and as part of that, 84% of the companies were already in cloud.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely I see the future. And if you see certifications, like the most popular certifications is cloud. So the top 3 certifications are for cloud.
Great.
So definitely the future world, I see cloud and artificial intelligence.
Great. And then similarly for you, Sheida, for your last question, we would love to know what future jobs you think, but specifically someone asked about roles with ethical AI, and if you think there'll be roles, focused on how to do AI ethically.
Yeah, that's a very important question. I didn't get the first question. Is my future job or future?
Or what? Just future jobs in AI, like
Okay.
what jobs you think are coming? Yeah, not just for you.
In Walgreens or generally?
General.
Okay, yeah, sure. So I think you see that impact of AI in our life. Every day it's growing. It has more impact. So you see that over the last few days, how we had progress in this field, even something that when I started learning about AI, so that was completely different. And deep learning, all these things, they came, I mean, they are not something from, they don't have old history, I mean. So, and when new needs come, and this field is growing every day, of course, the need of this, in this field, the needs are growing as well. And I feel that in the future, so with transforming life to AI more and more, so we need more AI specialists. And of course, I mean, new architecture, new innovations come. Again, we need to be up to date and learn new things. So this is the future AI I see. And the other thing, I feel that some of the part like big data, I feel that, so in the future, maybe transfer more to reinforcement. We use more of reinforcement learning in AI. So this is another vision that I have in AI for the future works. And for the second question, it's very important question. We should make sure that all the models that we are developing, we consider genders, and for training the models, we consider the genders and different maybe demographic information to make sure that we don't ignore some of the minorities in training of our models. So this is a very important thing in Walgreens. For every single model, now we consider it, and we even have project for that.
Great. I think that the audience will be very excited because they're interested in a role working on those kinds of projects.
Yeah.
So thank you both. I'm going to invite Pooja back to the screen to share our final slides. Thank you so much, Shipra and Sheida, for sharing with us today.
All right, so I see that many people are very interested in different roles, and so that's perfect. And I'm excited to share that you can visit our careers page at jobs.walgreens.com and look for positions that are of interest to you. If the position has remote opportunity, then it would usually say remote next to the title, because I know a lot of people are not local to the Chicago area. So that's just a little tip. And sometimes, if there's a role that you're interested in, but it's not local to your area or it's not remote, you're more than welcome to just reach out and ask and say, hey, is there opportunity for this? Is there relo? What's the deal with this role? I'm really interested. So we're happy to have that conversation with you. So I would definitely recommend going to our website if you find a job of interest. We have great search options. And then you can also reach out to us either on LinkedIn or send us a note via email. We'll be happy to kind of help you out with that. This next slide talks about signing up for job alerts. So basically, what you can do is enter your information, including your last name, first name, email address, and then the types of jobs that you are interested in, as well as your location. And then Walgreens will automatically send you, new job opportunities that may match your skill set or that may be of interest to you based off of the information that you put in. So I highly recommend filling out this information, and that way you'll also be in our system. So yeah, and then one more thing. So after our event today, in the next couple of days, I will also be sending out an email to all of those that participated, and you will get information regarding how you can reach out to us, how to follow up, should you find a job of interest or you have any other questions that you'd like to ask us. So look out for that email as well. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to all the attendees and the speakers and Pooja. Thanks, and have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody.
Thank you.